Okay, so the next part of my install is to demo this gas pack, which I kind of started and then I remembered I didn't take a video. So I gotta do the gas pack and then the A coils. So those should be empty, the coils. So I'll just cut the lines, get it disconnected. Then this, I'm gonna have to, I think my current plan right now is to take this apart in pieces and carry it down through this hole. So I started to do that and to pull the blower. I'm going to take that out in one set. Then I'm going to see if I can take some of this out in one set and disconnect that. The gas line, I might have to kill the gas to the house and swap this piece and that long stem and move that valve up because this is kind of in my way even once I get this off. And so that's going to make things interesting. I think it's probably best bet is to just move it so it's up and out of my way for the most part. And then this flex duct will have to temporarily come off, and then I'll have I'll go over my situation with that here on one of these spots. I haven't figured out how I'm going to edit this yet. So one piece at a time. And then to get the new unit up, the new unit will go from about where that plenum is all the way to about this end of this hanger. So I'll have to build a box from here over to there, since this is an 18-inch round ID, and airflow wise, if the things I think are correct, it's only good for 1300 CFM, and the new unit and even this unit pull more air through that. So in order to make things easier, it will I'll probably have to build a box and then insulate the box, come off this, come out, and then up to here. So I'll cover that once I get closer and kind of figure out what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not an HVAC tech or even HVAC guy. I just know enough about it and the willingness to get my hands dirty. So I'll keep trying to make videos as I go. Okay, well, here is my mid-progress update. Basically gutted everything inside of this and took it down that hole piece by piece. It's quite the pain in the butt. And then whoever did this originally had these straps screwing. This is on the back side. This is on the bottom. 2 sets of things so it wouldn't come apart, which made it quite difficult. Had to crawl under this, reach as far as I could blindly up that backside, about there, and just feel for screw heads and just start taking everything out. And then I tried to go over the top. The hanger is right here, and it's just kind of swung up out of the way because I'm trying to get this down. I have to get a buddy over here to help me so I can lower it, or a neighbor, because there's no way I can climb down the ladder with that and go. It's just big enough to left to right. It's 17. This is 21. I think front to back this is 26 and a half, and that's 26. It's pretty tight. And then yeah, here's the inside of a 30-year-old train unit. It was still running. It was just starting to give me some issues after 30 years. See, it's pretty goobered up and a lot of rust and metal and calcium all dropping in this pan. Turns out this pan's rotted out, so I got to replace that once I get this next piece out. My guess is I have some funny hidden straps strapping that plenum to this A-coil housing on the back and the bottom, where it's going to be pain in the butt to get, but you know, piece by piece it's slowly coming out. I think I might end up taking this out and then getting a friend to take the new unit after I partially disassemble it and pass it through this hole, and then that at least this will be out of the way, so that'll give me room to work, and then I have room to get in there. I still got to get this thing disconnected as well. And then I'm probably, since I'm making it a bunch of new holes, I'm going to go to the depot and get some insulation and for areas here, and then stuff it in all these cavities, since on the other side that's air conditioned space, and now I have big holes going from this air conditioned space here into this cavity here. Let's try to help mitigate temperature difference and heat loss through these drywalls. Drywall's not the best insulator versus insulation, so I might have to do that before I stick the new unit in. That way I can at least get around everything back in here and at least get it all tucked in as needed. Also find it interesting is half of this wall is 2x6 and half of it's 2x4, but it's still, you can see right there where it's 2x4, 2x6, and just randomly ends. Oh, you know what? That's probably in the center just for that vent. I lied. So, yeah, kind of insulate this, seal it up so I'm not leaking conditioned air into the attic or hot air into the house and making the unit work harder and running longer and all that fun stuff. Paying power bills I don't want to pay. All right. Okay, so I haven't done a video update because I kind of forgot and got busy. So I eventually had to take that trim out to get things out. Then, let's move this ladder. I'm upgrading to from an 18-inch to a 20-inch intake. So right now I've marked a line. It's probably hard to see because I'm looking at the light. I marked this line, and I'm gonna trim this out, basically along this line around. Put a new collar in to widen this to go to the new thing, as well as there used to be an air conditioner there. That's now gone. So I've done a couple things at this point. I went and bought insulation and insulated these walls to kind of help. And I also took some scrap wood and basically made this all into a deck so I can kind of move around easily up here. This is overkill for most things, or for most people, but I'm taking my time because I got laid off. So I have plenty of time to do it and do it myself and make sure it's done really nice and neat. And just go that extra mile because I have time. So like I said, so this is all insulated all around. I still have to, I'm gonna come over here and drop a PEX line down here to the sink for my primary drain. And then I have a new pan I have to get up into here. So the PEX line will go down over here because right below it's a sink. Then back in that corner, there is the drain, the secondary emergency drain I have to tie into. So as well as there used to be ducting for the intake that went over this, then dropped back down through this to connect to the unit on the top side. It's now going to be on the end. So I got still have some extra insulation. That's why I bought it. That's left over for here. Then I'm going to double stack to fill these areas, as well as put a board across so it has somewhere to rest against. Okay, well, working on getting this collar on to my ductwork after enlarging it. And one thing I don't have is a sheet metal nibbler, which would probably make this a whole heck of a lot easier. But I oopsed and got to pull this all back off because I'm just not big enough right there. I'm sure there's probably some correct way to do this, but I'm not an HVAC guy. So, well, gotta mark it and cut it. Problem is the tin snips are tearing up, so I found the way that's working best for me is to use my rigid saw and a pair of pliers to grab and pull the sheet metal tight while cutting, and that way it also keeps my fingers away from the blade and any sort of sharp metal that wants to bounce and kick around. So I gotta bend all these little tabs back after I mark it, pull it out of the way, cut it, and then shove it back in and bend the tabs back again. And then I'm not too terribly worried about making it like these little gaps. I mean, I'm trying to get as small as possible, but I have this like puka or mastic. I'm not sure what the correct name is for it. It's the same stuff that you see here. And so I'm gonna come back around once it's all on, and it's gonna get goop all the edges. inside that plenum where it's not done, I'm gonna goop all those too with a chip brush, and that way that's sealed up in that plenum. And the outside's kind of done, but you know, just hit it from all sides the best I can. And then I got to get the drip pan up in here. And so, yeah, one piece at a time, and just taking my time and knocking it out.